also wanted to just follow up with the conversation on oracle cards from yesterday. I was just thinking about clarifying a little bit around why that came up for me yesterday. One reason is that I pulled a card from this goddess deck that is really cool and beautiful, and I had pulled it last week and then I pulled it again yesterday. And when I spoke about synchronicities, that's one of the things that I think is interesting when things come back on repeat. And to me, it feels like, oh, pay attention to this, right? And so last week I didn't pay attention to it. I was like, oh, that's nice. Kind of ignored it. And then it came back this week and I was like, okay, I guess I'll look at this. So the card I pulled is Metis, and it's wisdom is one of the meanings. And the other reason I felt like I needed to pay more attention to it this week is because of the words that are used in the description and the artwork that I made on Monday. So it comes usually sometimes with a little book, and then the creator of the deck spells out the message. And again, with all of this, take what is meaningful to you and then discard the rest. Only you know and can check in with yourself about what has meaning. And so these acts of pulling cards and reading, it's just a way for us to slow down and inquire within ourselves around who we are and what's happening today. Bring a little bit of meaning to our moments in our day. So this message says, experience woven together with knowledge creates a beautiful thing, wisdom. Its parts are entwined like a finely made rope that is so strong it can't be cut. Wisdom, once earned, becomes an essential part of you. I love that idea of your experience and your knowledge, and then it becomes this wisdom that's just in you. No one can take that from you. And I've felt like over the last few years studying art therapy, I was able to apply a lot more psychological knowledge to my life experience. And now this wisdom is now something that I get to share. And that's part of why I'm doing Make with Jae. And that's also why I'm doing what I'm doing as an art therapist. And then in terms of things repeating, I paid extra attention to this reading because not only did I pull the same card, but also the words woven, entwined, rope. That was my piece earlier this week with paper strips. I wove them together. And then later on that night, I actually tied some ribbon and some string onto the piece. I thought maybe I would continue it this week. And I think it's just like, wow, it's right here. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to the things that repeat. When I was reflecting on that this morning, I realized that one of the things I wanted from that artwork was for this week to have a little bit more structure and routine, and it has not. So these reminders are like, oh, right, you asked for structure and routine and you are not following your own guidelines that you've set for yourself. And one last thing, following up from yesterday, I told you that I did some questions and answers from this book around dreams and fears. And a lot of my dreams are about sharing this wisdom. And how do I share this wisdom? And I need to be organized and have routine and consistency. And so all of this is repeating and I am just not listening. I have not listened to myself, to the signs, to these messages this week. I'm going to heed that right now. I'm going to try and bring a little bit of consistency to the next day and a half. And I'm going to try and bring some organization to how I'm sharing this wisdom. I also wonder if I'm feeling shame around not heeding my own instructions of having consistency this week. And so I'm going to do some thinking and exploring around that as well. So these are things I wanted to follow up on from yesterday. I will probably do an art piece, or maybe I'll add to my woven piece and tack it onto the end of this